Hey everyone, I just want to jump on here and it's 2020. I know it's been a while since we've been on here. We've had a lot of changes this year. My husband came and joined our practice. We've been super busy trying to figure out what that looks like and how to manage all that. So we're going to try to get back on here. But this is Advice for Life with Dr. Cathy, and we're at Beautifully Broken Counseling, and that number is 615-332-4389. And I just want to talk today about something that a lot of people are asking questions about, and that is red flags. So if you think of a red flag, like for example, we were just at the beach recently, and if there was a red flag that was something you didn't go on the beach, it was dangerous, that kind of thing. So it usually means danger. It also can mean, like in football, it means that the referee needs to review the last play. And when we're in relationships with people, or we're trying to be in relationships with people, a lot of times we will ignore red flags and we will run past them. They get us in a lot of trouble because we don't deal with it in the moment, and then that person thinks that they can just keep running over us and keep doing whatever they're doing until one day when we get a belly full, we cannot handle it anymore and we explode, and then we're called crazy and we're called every kind of name in the book, but it's because we let things go that we should not have let go. A healthy relationship is one where something comes up and you have to decide, why did this make me angry? And I use the Bible. Not everybody does, but I go to the Bible and I go on Google and I say, for example, say I sensed rejection. I'll say rejection in the Bible. And then I will get a list of Bible verses and I will see, would this action that was just done to me also make my Father mad? If it is something that would make my Father mad, then I have a right to be angry about that situation. Call it for what it is. Don't internalize it. Don't stew on it. Call it for what it is and say, I felt rejected by you because you did this to me, and I will not allow that. If more of us did that up front, then people would realize, and we did it in a respectful way, people would realize, okay, this person has standards. And I appreciate their standards because I know where they stand. But, you know, the Bible also says that love covers a multitude of sins. And there are things that are done to us that we should cover with grace and mercy, because that grace and mercy has been given to us. But then there's other things that are outright wrong. For example, if you are being abused within your relationship, until you stand up to that person and say, I will not allow you to treat me poorly, it will not stop. It will only escalate. Because by not acknowledging the red flags, you are actually giving the person the yellow flag. You're saying, it's okay, keep moving, but move with caution. But then after a while, they don't care about that caution flag because it doesn't have any meaning, because you have not backed it up. And if you need to escalate and get help, then do that. Do not live in the shadows. And a lot of times people come in for marital help because they have allowed red flags to just be thrown and no one went back and reviewed the play. We need to be able to sit down with one another. We need to review the play. We need to say why that is not okay. Would God be upset with what you just did to me? Or would God be upset with what I just did to you? We have to have humility in both ways. We have to be able to say the things that we've done wrong too, not just what people have done to us. That's what true humility is. Now, I looked on the internet, and I know a lot of red flags are about dating right now. People trying to find love. And if I could just tell you for 1 minute the amount of headache that goes on when people run by red flags, it is just not funny. It's not fun. It's not a happy place to be. I know when I dated in college, I decided I wanted to do it God's way, and I would not tolerate anyone who ever tried to hit me, who spoke to me disrespectfully. And so, Lord, I would say, Lord, if this is not the person that will bring me closer to you, then break my heart now. And he would break my heart. He would allow it. There would be a red flag. I would be like, stop the play. We're not doing this. And a lot of times God would just say no to me and take it away, take the choice away from me. And I would spend time crying and lamenting and mourning, and then I'd get back up and I'd say, okay. And then one day when I met my husband, he was respectful, he was kind, he was loving. He was hard to catch because he had been hurt in his life and he had run past some red flags that were very serious. But God worked all of that out, and he has been a wonderful husband. And he has never raised his hand to hurt me or never demoralized me in any way. But I chose to listen to God. I got in God's lap before I got involved with another person. And I also made sure that my baggage was taken care of before I got into a relationship. So a lot of the time, people talk about red flags when they're in a dating situation. And there are some very good resources out there. I found some things, dating a non-believer. If you're a believer and you're dating a non-believer, that should be a non-starter. You should have a standard that says, I will not break God's heart because I don't want my heart to get broken, and I don't want God to turn his face from me. Now, this is for the Christian. If you choose to have a different standard, that's between you and who you believe made you, but you'll have to deal with that and work that out. Another thing is broken trust. If there's something in your gut, unless you're a really insecure person, okay, and you might need help to sort that out. If you've had real bad damage in the past and you're very insecure and everything is a threat, we might want to talk about that because you might not be seeing things clearly. But if there's broken trust and you have actual factual, that rhymes, huh? Actual facts as to this person has broken trust with you, that's a serious red flag. So you need to sit down and talk about it. If the person continues to do it, don't just talk about it, do something about it. Stop the behavior, and if it means you have to remove yourself, do that. They claim to have a relationship with Christ, but you really do not see the actions. That's a big one, because people can fake a relationship with Christ on the outside, but you need to catch them reading their Bible. You need to catch them actually talking to someone else about the goodness of God. They need to be excited about going to church. They need to be excited about doing the things that help them grow. If they're not doing that, you cannot make them. It has to come from within. So set your standards on that. Also, addictive behavior. If someone has addictive behavior and you just keep letting those red flags come and you just keep putting them in a bucket for later, that is not going to help them. You need to be honest with them. Also, if someone speaks to you disrespectfully, if you keep letting them do it and don't stand up to them, it will only get worse. And over time, it may become so bad that it would be classified as abuse. And when that happens, there are usually other traps that are in that that can cause problems for you to get away, like children or finances or homes or things like that. So listen the first time, not when you've had so much that the bag can't hold anymore. They don't put God first. I tell people, if you want true discernment on who a person is, and if they're safe for you and they will bring you closer to God and not further away, then the best thing to do is for you, without them, you on your own, get in the lap of the Father in His Word, because in His Word in Psalms 91, the Word is the secret place. And so when we're under the secret place, we are hidden. And when we get along with God, He will reveal things to us that will give us wisdom and discernment so that we can make better choices in our relationships. This is not just relationships as a man and a woman or friends or whatever. This is all over. This is family. Any kind of work relationships. You want to be able to see the scenario as God sees the scenario. And you can't do that if you're not going to Him and asking Him, what does your Word say about this? How does your Word tell me that I should be able to handle this? Another thing is, of course, living together before you get married is not a very good standard. It sets you up for failure. So think about it. And their standards are always too low or shifting. That's another one. There's so many, we really couldn't get all of them. And I want to try to make these a little bit smaller snippets so you can grab it all and digest it, and then try to do just more. But the one thing I want to leave you with is 1 John 4:1. It says, "Dear friends, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world." Now, that's talking about false prophets, but it's also talking about people who are faking it. And if you're going to tie your soul and tie your life to someone who is willing to fake their relationship with Almighty God and play games, then they do not have your best interest at heart. They never will. There would need to be a radical revival in their hearts so that they can get that right. Okay, well, this is Advice for Life with Dr. Cathy. I hope that this will give you some clarity as to how to navigate with your relationships. The biggest thing is to have standards yourself and make sure that people do not cross that line without some accountability. All right, we'll talk to you later. Have a great day, and may God bless you.